Join me. Together we can rule the galaxy far and south.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Hello there, Space Wizards, Plastic Spacemen, and Rebel Princesses. This is Todd Hoffman and Trent Hoffman. You're listening to Big T and Little T, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 133. Today we're talking about Bad Batch Season 2, episodes 7 and 8. Yes, we have a double header as we're already at the mid-season review of Bad Batch. Can you believe it? Well, it is Super Bowl Sunday, and we are still not over with the game, but that's okay. It's still cool. We have like a super blockbuster 7-8 here. Get into the meat and potatoes of the galaxy here. One of the things that's been really interesting about Bad Batch this season is that it's been kind of like different missions, and sometimes they go good, sometimes they go bad, and I really think like we just get to hang out with them, which is a lot different than kind of this plot moving thing. And I think I was looking for that, but now I'm like kind of cool with it. But then the 7 and 8 is all kind of plot stuff that's kind of pushing where we think this is going, as far as like how the clones are being kind of run out, and now the stormtroopers are coming back in. Obviously, the stormtroopers are, kind of not elected. They are selected, or they choose to be a stormtrooper, where the clones were obviously manufactured to be these kind of machines of war. Okay, so now we get these two kind of episodes, which are kind of cool. We have like, how can I put it? You have this like clone conspiracy, which is the 7th episode, and then you have Truth and Consequences, which is this 8th episode, which are really, really cool. So so we have a lot of cool things. So before we get to those two episodes, definitely check us out on Twitch. You're gonna find Trent there all the time. Twitch.tv/Big T and Little T, playing Fortnite, Rocket League, FIFA, Madden, Goat Simulator 3, Ninja Turtles, all this fun stuff. So definitely check us out there. And we were just on 2 guest spots. Definitely check us out on Ice Flame. I believe it's episode 42 or 43, if I'm not mistaken. He had us on talking about our favorite Mandalorian characters as we get close to season 3. As this is recording, it's 17 days away from episode 3. No, season 3, not episode 3, season 3. So there you go. It's gonna be great. Can't wait. Super excited for that. And then we were just on conversations with Pat and Charles. Part of the Red 5 network, really great guys. We met them at ScarifCon. Trent just adores them. They are fantastic. So check us out on their 100th episodes. Congratulations to Pat and Charles. So we have all that fun stuff, and and we got this fun stuff with 7 and 8. All right, so like I said, the first one is called Clone Conspiracy. So the setup is pretty simple. We got a clone that's like, we got some things going on, and his name is Cade, and he concerns with he basically said Vice Admiral lied. So not only Rampart lied about Bad Batch being, eliminated during the Battle of Camino, or really the whatever you want to call it, the bombardment of Camino. Now we have the clones saying, hey, it wasn't a weather storm. Again, this is something that we've seen before. If you remember Rogue One, they called it a mining accident of Jedha or something like that. These are cover-ups that they always do. This is what the Empire does best. And so as the Republic is switching to the Empire, this is something that we see again, that the Empire just covers up like it's this storm, okay? Like, again, Camino, it was a little rough waters, you know what I'm saying? It was rough. So we we see that, and yeah, it's pretty interesting that we now that they couldn't survive a storm, it's been an we've been Camino, what it is. It's a little it's a little chappy water, and so a big storm has like sunk in this big city. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever, but that's what everyone believed. And so now the clones are like, I was there, that's not what happened, and he's lying. So again, this is another lie that Rampart is doing. Okay, so now we have these settings proceedings that Rampart is basically trying to initiate the Imperial Defense Recruitment Bill, which is essentially the Stormtrooper bill, if you want to call it that. It's just saying, it's a new conscript military that represent the people, blah, 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 words, but basically saying, like, it's all this kind of technical stuff, but it's still true, where, Palpatine has this Emergency Powers Act that basically puts him in control of everything. What they're trying to do is saying, hey, we still need defenses because all these things are coming up. So it's okay. All right, so we got this. And now, for some reason, Palpatine's indisposed right now. So it's Mas Amedea. Am I saying that right? I don't know. I'm not really good with Star Wars names, but he's the blue guy with the cool little horns and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, he's setting up like, hey, Rampart, you got to get your deal together. We got to make this happen. But we got Rao Chuchi, which is a fun name to say. Rao Chuchi is fun to say. Chuchi is just something cool that we have. And she's saying, what about the interests of the clones? So it sounds like, how can I put it? It's like no one's thought of this. Like no one cares about the clones. And that's what Chuchi's saying. It's like, hey, look, they fought the war for us, and now we're not doing anything for them. Guys, new flash. This is like straight up Vietnam. Yeah, it's pretty much right on where it's saying, hey, we need to take care of our soldiers. And in this part, it's like, well, Rampart's like, yeah, we can take care of them or whatever, but it doesn't really play out too well. So we got this whole thing going on. So Chuchi is investigating this. The guy that kind of snitched on Rampart is assassinated, and there's we get to see like a whole clone bar, which is kind of cool. It's all clones. It's kind of interesting too that like there is some segregation there too, that maybe the clones are not totally accepted in Coruscant and different places, which is kind of interesting too. Again, not well integrated with society. So those are some big themes here. I mean, we're getting really kind of big picture, big adult stuff, but it's still kind of cool to see this play out a little bit. So now Slip, who is this other guy, what was that guy's name that died? Ooh, getting to the top again. Yeah, who's the guy? Oh, Cade. So Cade unfortunately dies. He gets sniped. Slip is the one trying to reach out and trying to figure out, like, he goes to Chuchi and says, hey, I know this is like, he's lying. Rampart's lying. So it's like, okay, so Chuchi's like, all right, let me see if I can help out, try to figure this out. And, Slip is meeting with them and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's just, there's a lot going on here. A lot of shady meetings, lower level Coruscant stuff. This is great stuff. That's why Coruscant is so cool. But yeah, Organa is in it as well, trying to help out, trying to see what Chuchi's up to. Also kind of warning her to be careful. Amida is mad at Rampart to get this done. And obviously Rampart has this assassin play. Chuchi's guards are then taken out as she's trying to protect Slip. And Slip makes an emergency call to someone to pick him up and help him out. He's in a pickle, right? A big old pickle. So now we have how can I put it? We have this kind of setup where it's not looking good. The assassin now has taken out the guards for Chuchi, and Slip is almost dead, and so there's it's not looking good. Okay, so as they get there, Rex is there, but unfortunately, Slip does not make it, and Chuchi helps Rex capture the assassin, if you will. And then we turn out it's a clone. What? And so the clone says something. The clone describes himself as a believer. So I honestly don't know what that means. I don't know if he's, a Justin Bieber believer. I have no idea. I don't know what he's believing in. I'm not sure if it's just the Empire or whatever. And so here we go. He does like we see this in Mandalorian, actually. It's like a suicide shocker pill, and he bites on it and he dies. So Chuchi and Rex are kind of left empty-handed, and yeah, it's super, super interesting, So now we have this thing where now Rex and Chuchi are trying to find out what's going on here, what's happening. So that's pretty much how 7 ends. Again, I understand that they have this double episode. So here we go. We have so now we go right into Truth and Consequences. And so this one is very, very interesting. So it's basically official description: brought into a risky mission, the batch must use stealth to survive. So Rex calls in a favor to the crew and says, "Hey, got a mission, and you got to go to Coruscant." Okay. So now we're in Coruscant, and we get to see, again, Coruscant through Omega's eyes, which is great. They hook up with the... it's interesting. This is another cool thing. They hook up in the Martez sister's repair shop, which is interesting. And so we got that happening. So we're back in basically Star Wars 1313 land, or level 1313 land. So if you're not familiar with Coruscant, obviously it's city and building on city, and we have this thing where it's like this huge sinkhole that there's multiple levels they can go down to, and it's Star Wars 1313. And now we have this thing where they have kind of a base operation. And so Chuchi and Rex explain the situation, which obviously the Bad Batch also confirm that it was bombarded, that the how can I put it, the city of Camino and all that is bombarded. Chuchi's also going through other things where there's the ex-senator that she's trying to get a hold of, and says, yeah, Rampart's also been doing the slush fund on the side. There's all this adult kind of high level stuff that's happening. And basically what it means is that the Empire is shady, right? So now we have all these things that are happening all at once, and it's looking like we know what's going to happen here. It's like, okay, so now we have Chuchi and Rex working together, and now as they find out that Rampart's ship has the mission log or the recordings, and it's being upgraded in a shipyard. So the whole Bad Batch episode is to get in there. It's great. They infiltrate it. It's got this run and gun thing. We got stun, they're stunning their troopers. They get in. We get to see all this kind of cool stuff play out with the Bad Batch, and using their skills, if you will, to do it. One of the things, unfortunately, as they get to the ship, it's not fully functional, so they have to turn on the power of the bridge to get the information that they need. Tech does this thing, bling bling bling, gets it up, but then what happens is that the it kind of alerts everybody in the shipyard, and we have this huge kind of little firefight. and in their infinite wisdom, like, we're going to start the ship and just ignite the engines and get it kind of going. As they do that, that's a distraction for them to pull out of the ship and get out of there. And it's bada bing, bada boom. Meanwhile, Omega is with Chuchi and gets to see a little bit of the senator's dealings and understand what the Senate is about. We get to see the Senate chamber. It's all these kind of cool stuff that make it happen. And so I'm going to pause right here because it's 35-35 with 11 seconds to go, and the Chiefs are going to... Yes, they went ahead. So now it's 8 seconds left, 38-35. Eagles are losing. Chiefs up by 3 with 8 seconds left. So, almost done. Okay, here we go. So we'll see. It's pretty close. So, anyways, so now Omega gets to see kind of Senate, understand what Chuchi's doing. It's kind of a cool little moment, and Bale kind of trusts her. And Omega gets to see she reacts to the Camino ex-senator who was kind of jaded a little bit, and it's like, it matters to me. Those were my friends. Those were my people. The Caminos died. The clones died. And like, this ex-senator's like, well, the Empire is going to do what it does, kind of type thing. So now the motion is in the Senate. It's like, okay. So now the motion's happening. They're trying to delay it, but basically they don't want to delay the vote of the Imperial Defense recruitment bill. And so it doesn't have anything about like the clones' rights again and what the clones do. But yeah, it's something that we just, there's not much built into it, although Rampart says there's going to be stuff for the clones, or whatever. And so now there's a motion to essentially make this happen, and Chuchi's like, but I have evidence. I say we delay it, and then Bale comes in at the last second with Omega with the data tape. Boom, they play it, and bada bing, bada boom. We get to see the bombardment of the Star Destroyers hitting Topeka City, Tipcoa City, which is the big Camino one. And, man, it's right there. And then cue the Emperor. The Emperor comes up and just basically... he just basically spins it. And that's it, guys. Sorry. 38-35. Chiefs. Yes. We wanted the Chiefs to win, even though we're NFC guys. Matt Nagy, ex-Bear, gets the trophy, gets a ring. Good for him. And then we got Andy Reid getting it. But yeah, Mahomes does his thing. Pretty cool stuff. 38-35. We got the Kelsey brothers. Oh, there's Mahomes with Kelsey, the other brother. Oh, rough. So, yeah, that was... Wow. Okay. It's always... Yeah. Can't believe... Yeah. It's the first time the brothers, the Kelseys, have won a Super Bowl. Or brothers played in a Super Bowl together. So, yeah, this is going to be pretty cool. Oh, lots of hugging, though. Lots of confetti. It was a good game. This is a solid game. Really close game. So good. 38-35. So good. Anyways. All right. So now we get the Emperor coming up. And then plot twist. He basically pins it all on Rampart and says Rampart was acting on his own. And... it was, yeah, it's like, and then the shock troopers arrest him, and then he throws in this little dig, this little thing that is just super, super interesting. He basically says, well, the clones were just blindly following orders, so the clones should be taken out too, which is kind of interesting. It's like, okay, so now they're just blindly Yeah, it says deeply troubled by the revelations of Chuchi's, like treachery. Um, it basically, this is what it says in Wikipedia, and it kind of says the same thing. It's like Palpatine also points out the Rampart did not act alone, and the clones under his command blindly followed his orders. Um, yeah, and so yeah, so the clones are bad too. It's the same thing he pinned on the Jedi. It's kind of crazy. And so there you have it. And so then now we're not done with a gut punch yet. We have Rex kind of saying, "Hey, I need to help with this whole thing," and he wants to continue to help with the cause. And Echo's like, "I'm gonna stay behind." And so we have this kind of cool. The Bad Batch, they're fine with it, or somewhat fine with it, but they kind of leave. Omega's kind of shook by it, and actually it's pretty tender moment between Echo and Omega, and basically saying, "Hey," explains like, "Hey, I need to help Rex and help the clones out, and so that is something that I need to do." And so there you have it. It's how the episode ends. So super fun episode. Gets really deep into the plot of the thing. So really we don't know what's going to happen with the clones still. Are they going to just try to say they're all machines of war and they're blindly following all these orders, so therefore they're not like, how can I put it? It's like they're all going to be prisoners or court-martialed or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it's going to be so interesting to see how this plays out. So we got that. Then we got the team kind of breaking up, and what does that mean about Sid and all this stuff, man? It's going to be crazy. So there you have it. Double episode for you, and good stuff, really good stuff. Solid writing, solid payoff at the end. I didn't think I was gonna get kind of emotional with all that, but there you have it. It's gonna be interesting. So okay, light it all up. Gotta have a trivia question here. So what is the clone that Rex comes, or who is the clone that Rex comes to save in Coruscant? Okay, so if you give me that name, drop it in an email at bigtlittlet podcast@gmail.com, and we'd love to send you out a prize back. So thanks again for listening to another episode of Big T Little T, episode 133 in the bag. You can find us on the socials, Big T Little T Podcast, Instagram, BLILT Podcast on Twitter, and then twitch.tv/Big T Little T. Gonna find us playing games all every week, so check us out there. Again, we got stickers. We want to send some swag to your home, in your face. Tweet, rate us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Give us a 5-star rating. Write some kind notes, write some kind words, and we would love to read that in an upcoming episode. Check us out there. And like I said, don't forget to check us out on Ike's Flame and Conversations. We love doing guest spots and stuff like that. Hey, if you want to connect with us as well, love to have you on or be a guest on your show. Let us know. Drop us a line at Big T Little T Podcast. We're always looking to collab. So next week, episode 9, Bad Batch. We're going to be doing that. And we got some surprises coming up soon for Mandalorian. So stay tuned for that. And I think that is how we end it. And we always say, truly wonderful the mind of a child is. And may the force be with you always. Bye. See you later. Bye. Peace.